You need to make this, okay? You need to make it. I'm not kidding. I'm like trying this on camera just so y'all can see, but it's like always a 10 out of 10. Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title of this video, I really wanted to share some high protein plant-based breakfast ideas. I'm sharing 2 of them. I have gotten some requests for recipes like this, so I'm so excited to share them with you. So today for breakfast, I decided that I wanted to have my plant-based protein pancakes. These pancakes are so delicious. You can prep these ahead for the week, you can freeze them, and then just warm them up when you want to enjoy them. I love these pancakes so much. Let me show you everything that we're going to be using. All-purpose flour. If you prefer to use whole wheat flour, that also works. I've tried it with both. Both of them work fine. I will say when you use the whole wheat flour, it is a bit thicker, so you'll want to add a bit more of the dairy-free milk. If you do decide to add the whole wheat flour, I think it does have a bit more fiber, so that wouldn't be a bad option. Now, where the protein comes in, we're going to be using a protein powder and adding them to this. Listen, don't run away. I know that sometimes adding protein powder to pancakes isn't good, but I'm telling you, I have figured out a way to kind of like perfect it so that it's not too thick and it's still pretty fluffy. Another thing to note when it comes to the protein powder, I found that pea-based protein powder works best. I don't know why. I've tried it with different protein powders, but pea protein tends to work the best. So this is the protein powder that we will be using in this recipe, and I'll have this linked in the description box if you want to check it out. Now, another area where the protein in this recipe comes in is it depends on what type of plant-based milk you want to use. I like to use soy milk in this recipe because it adds the additional protein and I enjoy it. I'll be using this Westlife soy milk. It has 9 grams of protein, and the only ingredient in here is water and organic soybeans. So if you do get a soy milk, make sure it's organic. If you're not a fan of soy, you can definitely do this with another alternative milk. So think almond milk, oat milk, cashew milk, or even hemp seed milk. We're also going to be using some baking powder, a bit of salt, and then last but not least, a sweetener of choice. Today I'll be using stevia, but you can also do this with a cane sugar. Coconut sugar is also a good alternative. I've been trying to consume more natural sugars, and based off of what I've learned about stevia, it's a pretty good one to use. I'll have this linked in the description box if you want to try it out as well. But now that we've gone through everything we'll be using, let's get this together because your girl is hungry. Okay, we're gonna go in with half a cup of flour, a full scoop of protein powder, about 2 teaspoons of sugar or a sweetener substitute, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and I almost forgot, also add a pinch of salt. And then we're just gonna whisk this together. Now, the reason why I'm so specific about each measurement, normally I'm like take my recipes, put your own spin to it. Don't spin this one. I mean, you can spin it if you want to, but I just can't guarantee that it'll still taste good. So I will say try to stay as close to the recipe as possible because I figured out a way to get this exactly where it needs to be, considering that these are pancakes that have plant-based protein in them. So the next thing to do would just be to add the dairy-free milk. I'm going to pour 3/4 cup of the dairy-free milk. We may use a little bit more, we may use a little bit less. You really just want to pay attention to the thickness of this, and I'll show you exactly how it needs to look while we're whisking this together. We're just gonna slowly pour it in. I would say start with half of it and just whisk, because again, you don't want to add too much. You want to be able to control it. We also don't want to overmix, but you don't want to undermix, because you can see that the batter actually has like large clumps of the protein powder still. We want to mix that well, but not too well. I'm gonna add just a smidge more. So as you can tell, there are still some clumps in here. There aren't too many, but that's exactly what we want. And this is the consistency that we're looking for. We're gonna let this rest for about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna cook it on the stove. Oh my gosh, these pancakes are so good. I'm so excited for y'all to try these out. And And as far as the heat goes, I have this on low heat. I have it on low heat to ensure that the pancakes cook all the way through. I've made pancakes in the past, and if you have the heat up too high, the outer layer cooks faster than the inside does, and you just want it to have an even cook. All right, time to flip. Ooh, that looks great. Look at how perfect that looks. You'll start to see that they're rising. Don't take the spatula and press it down. Just let it do its thing. And before I think they're ready, I will pick them with a toothpick. And if the toothpick comes back clean, then we're ready. Y'all see how fluffy these are? I'm gonna go in with some of that jam. Just add that on top, and then some of those berries. All right, and now we are about to dig in. So here are our pancakes. I'm about to give it a taste. I do think I need a little bit of syrup on here. Not too much, but enough to get the job done. These are phenomenal. Granted, they do have like a slight taste of that protein powder, but I mean, it is protein pancakes, so that's kind of a given, but it doesn't take away from the amazing taste, the fluffiness of these pancakes. But I'm telling you, give this a try and let me know what you think. But I'm about to finish eating this. I hope you give this one a try. Next recipe is coming up. So for today's breakfast, I am making loaded hash browns. Essentially, I'm making a tofu scramble and I'm putting it on top of hash browns. It's so good. It just has so much flavor. The base of it, we are going to be using some hash browns. Any hash browns that you choose will work. Also, tofu. So I just have some firm tofu here. Typically, when it comes to tofu, I throw it in the freezer, let it thaw out because it changes the texture. It allows the tofu to absorb more of the flavor. However, when it comes to my tofu scrambles, I don't freeze my tofu. I typically want something that's a bit more soft. And if you're not a fan of soy-based tofu, there's also fava bean tofu. Let me show you what that looks like. So this is the soy-free option. I really like using this. The brand is Big Mountain Foods. I know you might ask, where can I find this? And it honestly just depends on where you live. I could typically find it at the Fresh Market. I've been able to find it at Sprouts. So my suggestion would be to go to their website, see where it's sold near you. We also need refried beans. I like to get fat-free. Typically the hash browns already have fat in them, and depending on which tofu you use, it has fat in it as well. So I just try to limit it where I can. You don't have to get fat-free, that's just what I'm choosing to do. So we're gonna be using an onion. You can do red onion, yellow onion. We're also gonna be using some cherry tomatoes. In the tofu scramble, I do like to add some leafy greens for some extra fiber and other vitamins as well. But kale is one of the items that I like to include in here. And this is my tofu scramble seasoning blend. I'll show you everything that I use in here. I'm really excited to eat. We went to a market this morning and I was holding on to my appetite for this video, so let's get started. Okay, I'm gonna start by putting together the tofu scramble blend. But we're gonna start off with nutritional yeast. I like a lot of nutritional yeast. You know, you can kind of tweak this to your liking. We're also going to go in with some smoked paprika, onion powder, garlic powder. I like to add a bit of curry powder. Not too much, but just enough for a little extra flavor. Some turmeric. Now the turmeric is for color, but of course it also has other health benefits. You don't need too much, but it helps give you that color that you're looking for when it comes to tofu scrambles. We're also gonna add a bit of black pepper in our blend. And then the last thing that we're gonna add in here is kalanomic, also known as black salt. It is a pinkish color. I either get it from my local international market or Amazon. It's a salt, but it's like a sulfurous salt. So it has a very strong egg-like smell and also gives dishes an egg-like taste. It is a salt, so you just want to be mindful because a little bit goes a long way. So we're going to add that in here now. Give it a good shake, and there you go. And because the tofu cooks pretty quick, we're just going to go ahead and put our hash browns in the oven. These are going to take about 15 minutes. And while the hash browns are in the oven, we're going to go ahead and start prepping the rest of the ingredients. So I'm about to chop up the kale. cut up our onion and then dice the tomatoes. The other thing that you have to prep, which I'm not doing too much prep to it, are the refried beans. So I just scooped out 1 serving of the refried beans here, and I'm just gonna warm these up in the microwave. If you are not a fan of the microwave, you can always warm these up on the stove. I don't tend to, aside from like seasoning it up with salt, black pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder, maybe smoked paprika. I don't really do too much to the refried beans because there's so much flavor already in the tofu scramble. You don't have to do too much, but if you do want to get, you know, take it an extra step further, you can always, again, warm these up on the stove, maybe cook them up with some garlic, some onions. It's completely up to you, but I would just be microwaving these with a bit of water just so they can become a bit more smooth so that we can spread it on the hash brown. Every time I make this breakfast, I just remember why it is in my top 10, top 7, probably my top 5. It's just so delicious. So let's go ahead and put it together. We got everything all done. Our tofu scramble is done. We got the refried beans that have been warmed up and seasoned a bit. We also have our finished hash browns. They are crispy and I love crispy hash browns. And then we also have a hot sauce. I like to drizzle a bit of hot sauce on top of these. So let's go ahead and put everything together. I am a little bit extra sometimes. So I have some microgreens in here that I'm just going to add on top for just extra nutrients. Now I did have a bit more of my tofu scramble left over, and typically what I would do is just enjoy that on the side of the hash browns if I am looking to hit a certain protein goal for my breakfast, which normally I do, but I'm so excited to dig in. These are absolutely beautiful and they taste good as well. You can't beat that. So let's go ahead and give this a try. Here we go. Looks so good. I'm like trying this on camera just so y'all can see, but it's like I already know it's good because I've had it before. Oh my gosh, hold on. That tofu scramble is always a 10 out of 10. And with the hash browns, I'm telling y'all, you need to make this, okay? You need to make it. I'm not kidding. I try to get close to 30 grams of protein for breakfast, and this allows me to do just that. So if you do decide to make this, it just depends on how much of each ingredient you want to use, or even just how much tofu you want to consume. If you are looking for some high protein plant-based meals to incorporate in your diet, I hope you found that this video was helpful and that you try the recipes. Be sure to let me know in the comments a couple things. One, let me know who you are. I would love to say hello, especially if you are new here, or if you've been here and you have not had a chance to introduce yourself, please do so in the comments. Two, let me know which recipe you plan to try. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and you can find all the links to the products I mentioned in this video, as well as my cookware, my go-to items, all the things. Like, I have so many links in the description box, so be sure to check that out. And my last request is leave me a comment letting me know what type of content you want to see. My goal is to show you that you can do it, because I honestly believe if I can do it, somebody who did not grow up cooking, somebody who has not been plant-based for my entire life, and I hope that my videos are showing you that you can actually do it too. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.